Hey y'all, how you doing today? So this is going to be another video by request. A while back I asked my friends and fans on Facebook, what would you like me to make a video about, or what subjects would you like me to cover? And I'm slowly sort of moving through this list, and some of my previous videos were based on suggestions by those folks. And so today I'm going to talk to you about dealing with bad neighbors, which was what I was requested to talk about. And it just so happens I have a little bit of experience with this subject lately, and I'm going to share with you how I successfully took care of this situation with what I call the stupefying go away forever spell. So, to do this spell, you're going to need a couple of things. This is a candle spell, and so you're going to need a candle. Now, depending on what or who you're trying to banish or get rid of, you're going to need a candle of a specific color. For example, let's say you have a lover that you've tried to break up with and they just won't seem to go away. What you are trying to banish is going to be symbolized by not only the color of the candle, but what you carve on it. So in the case of, say, a lover who won't go away, you might use a red candle. In the case of, let's say, you have a meddlesome mother-in-law, you might use a white candle, because I associate white with the moon and the moon with mothers. Same thing with a father-in-law. You might want to use a yellow candle for a father-in-law because of the sun and men and fatherhood. And as you know, so what you're going to do is, as you may or you should know, if you're wanting to draw something to you, you burn your candle right side up, right? This is how the candle comes, with a wick here and wick here. If you're trying to move something away from you, you're going to butt the candle. To butt the candle means to cut the tip off, the part that you would normally light, turn it upside down, and then you can take a little knife and cut a new wick where the bottom was. So you've basically turned this candle upside down. That's called butting or flipping the candle. And then what you're going to do is, you're going to carve the name of the person, your neighbor, on this candle. Now, I grew up in the South where everybody knew everybody. We knew all our neighbors. Here in Washington, I live in an apartment. I'm on the ground floor of a three-story apartment. don't know the names of any of my neighbors. So, if you don't know your neighbor's name, what you can do is simply you're going to take and carve on this candle the address. So, and you can even put, make up a name for the person. So let's say, I'm going to give you the example of the person who lives on the above me in one of the apartments. He's a very large, fat man, so I've been calling him the ogre, because he just looks like Shrek to me. So you might write the fat man, and then the address. So 123 Maple Street, any city, any state, blah blah blah. And you know, depending on the size of your candle, you may be able to write that here, or you may have to just write it anywhere, you know, on the candle. All right. So then what you're gonna do is you're gonna in addition to just a regular old candle, you can also use a human figural candle, right? These are a little bit more dramatic, but they're very powerful. And in my case, this is actually what I used. I used a human figural candle, and I just carved, you know, the fat man and the address over the chest of the candle, and that's what I use. These candles, you can flip. It'll be a little bit more awkward, but in my case, I burned it right side up. And I'm going to use this with my example for the rest of this video. So once you have your candle, you carve the name or whatever on it. You're going to set this candle up on a plate or something. And what I like to do is, I take hot sauce. I get the hottest hot sauce I can find. I'm not going to really do, I'm not going to take the lid off because I'm not going to really do it. And I just pour this hot sauce over the candle. And I just let it drip and slide all the way down on the candle. And then I'm going to take some cayenne pepper. And I'm going to put that in my hand. I'm going to hold it in my hand. I'm going to focus on what I want to happen, right? I want this person out of here. I want them to leave. I want them to go away. And then I'm going to blow that red pepper, powdered red pepper. And if I still have some on my hand, I might, do this number right here to, get it all off. Now here's the thing. I didn't grab any, but you might want to, once you have this pepper on your hands and you're going to be handling some hot foot oil in a minute, you might want to have you some little wipes handy so you can wipe your hands clean and then sort of throw that away while you're doing the spell. Okay, so now you got your candle, you got your name carved on it, you've poured the Tabasco sauce over it, you've blown the red pepper, your candle's ready, right? You can light your candle and say something along the lines of, John Doe, you will never be happy living here. You'll never find success. Hold on. Excuse me. You'll never find success. You'll never find happiness. You just don't want to live here anymore. This ain't the place for you. You need to go out into the world somewhere else and find your happiness. Because as long as you stay here, you'll never be happy. You don't want to stay here. You don't want to be here. Blah, blah, blah. Light your candle. And then sort of move it aside. And while that candle's burning, what you want to do is take a picture of the person. And for the purposes of this video, I just have here a picture of Donald Trump that I have cut out of a magazine. Now, before I go any further, let's just talk about this. Okay. Getting a picture of the person. If you know their name, you may be able to find them on Facebook and use their profile picture. I got this person's picture because I have a security camera in the window, and it's motion activated, and so I have plenty of pictures of him on camera, sometimes looking directly into my window. And I just screenshotted that and printed it out for the purposes of my spell. If you don't have a security camera or something like that where you can get an image, maybe you can stand in your window with your phone and take a picture. If you have the ability to draw, like myself, in the old days, I used to draw portraits of people and use them in spells. It shouldn't be that hard to get a picture. If you can be sneaky about it, the way, stand behind your Venetian blind, just open it up just enough to stick the camera through, boom, they'll never know. So, anyway, once you have your picture, you're going to take a pen. This is just a regular old pen, and the color don't matter. It just so happens when I opened up my sewing kit, I happened to grab one that was black, but the color of it don't matter. And what you're going to do is, you're going to take your pen, and you're going to poke that person's head, the head part, not necessarily their face, but their head. You're going to poke a hole 9 times. And what you're doing is you're penetrating their thoughts. You're penetrating your brain. And when you're done, you're going to hold that picture up to your mouth and you're going to speak into those holes. You're putting a thought or an idea in this person's head. You're not welcome here. You're not wanted here. Nobody wants you here. You'll never be happy here. You'll never be satisfied here. As long as you stay here, you'll be unsuccessful in everything. Nobody likes you. Go away. You need to move. Move somewhere else where you'll be happier. Move somewhere else where you'll have more success, more money, more love, more pleasure, whatever it is. Just however you want to say your petition, right? So once you do that, you've poked the hole, you've put your thoughts in his head. Now you got to seal those holes up. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your hot foot oil, put a little bit on your finger, and then how am I going to do this? Let me see if I can show y'all. I'll use this as an example. Okay, let's say this is a square. You're going to 5-spot this paper. Now, normally, the 5-spot something means to do the 4 corners and the center, right? Here's a little tip for you. I like to work with circles or circular movement. So if I want to draw something to me when I 5-spot something, I'll start at the top left corner and I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then center. So I'm basically doing a clockwise circle and then the center. If I'm doing something to move something away from me, I'll start at the top right and I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, center. So I'm doing a counterclockwise circle. So since I want to send this person away, I will do 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, center, right? And then I'll put a little bit more cayenne pepper in my hand and sprinkle it over the picture, right? So I've poked the holes, I've put the thought in, and I've sealed the holes up with the oil and the powder. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this photo in an envelope. Now again, I'm just going through the motions here, but you want to make sure there's a stamp on this envelope. And then you're going to take a pen and you're going to write the person's name on the envelope. John Doe, care of general delivery, and then you're going to send it to a city and state somewhere far away. Now I'm on the West Coast, so I would send this somewhere on the East Coast. So I might write John Doe, care of general delivery, Hale, Georgia, and then whatever the zip code is. If you don't know the name, again, you can make up a name, but you have to kind of, since this is, you know, male, I can't put the ogre on here. So what I did was, the person I was focusing on, when I looked at his picture, I have no idea what his name is, but if I had to name him, I thought he looked like a Shane to me. So I called him Shane. And then he drives a gray Mustang. So I made up the name for him, Shane Gray Horse. So, and remember, his photographs is in here. As I'm doing the spell, I'm visualizing him. So the name isn't that important, but it has to kind of look legit on your envelope. So I wrote Shane Gray Horse, care of general delivery, Hale, Georgia, and then whatever the zip code is. So once you, and as you're writing that address on there, that name and address, do it slowly, do it deliberately, really put all your energy into it, visualizing it happen, make it happen. And when you're done, you're going to pass this envelope through some incense. I don't know if I told y'all to burn incense, but you know, you should. Pass it through some incense, make your petition again. Shane Gray Horse. As long as you're here, you'll never be happy. You know you got to go away as quickly as possible. Go somewhere else where you'll be happier. Somewhere where you'll find success, happiness, love, romance, and abundance. Because none of that is for you here. Blah, blah, blah. Very important. Do not put a return address on this envelope. You don't want this to come back. You want this letter to end up in some dead letter office somewhere far away. Because you're symbolically sending this person away. So then, when you're done smoking it, you're going to place this envelope under your candle, let it burn down. You can sit and watch this candle and pray. You can pray a psalm, make your petition, meditate, visualize, whatever you want. Pay attention to the candle, how it burns. You can check out the wax when it's done for signs. In some cases, I do look at the signs from candles. In other cases, I don't, because I just feel like sometimes my faith in the work has to be so strong that I don't need a sign. I know in my heart of hearts that it's going to work. So it's up to you how you want to do that. You may want to just kind of finish out the spell, let it, play its course, see if it works for you. Before you really dig into signs and figure out what went wrong or what you could have done better. A little tip you can do, if you're not ready to look at the signs now, before you get rid of any this leftover, you can take your phone and photograph the remains and just put it aside for later, save it on your phone to really look at. A lot of times I do this anyway. Sometimes it's easier to really inspect the remains from a photograph because you can kind of blow it up, move it around, do all kinds of things with it. Anyway, When the candle burns out, you're going to take this envelope and you're going to drop it in a public mailbox. Don't put it in the mailbox at your home. You don't want this to have any connection to you. You don't want this in your mailbox. Take it to a public mailbox, one of those blue mailboxes you see out in front of Walmart or whatever. Drop it in a box, say good riddance, bing bang boom, there's your spell. Now, I hear you asking, Carolina Dean, does this really work? Well, as I told you, I have some experience with this, and today is Thursday, okay? I did this spell about 2 weeks ago, and as of 2 days ago, on the other side of that window right there, a pod appeared. Not an outer space pod, but, people moving. The ogre spent the last 2 days putting all his shit in that pod, and as of today, he's gone. It worked. And it can work for you too. Anyway, that is the Stupefying Go Away Forever spell. I hope you enjoyed this. Until next time, be good people, think good thoughts, and do good things. Bye now.